Freediving is the practice of holding your breath while diving underwater without the use of breathing equipment.
Hey, we're sailing these knots. I'm Carol.
I'm Bruce, and this is Ariga. Two truths.
When we were in Georgetown and we were preparing to go to Dean's Blue Hole, we wanted to make sure that we stayed relaxed, did some breathing exercises, and didn't do anything too strenuous before going to the Blue Hole to test our free diving.
We spent a lot of time in Georgetown, maybe like 4 days or 5 days or so, and we really aimed to relax in order to dive deeper. This is our first time going to Blue Hole. We took advantage of the scenery in Georgetown, so we took our dinghy from place to place. We took a little trail up to the top of this lookout in Georgetown, and then we spent some time with friends.
Delivery ever.
Yeah, this is our friend. We let him borrow our water cans to fill up his boat, and I forgot to get my funnel back, so he's bringing it hot off the press right here.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit upwind for him, and he can't go upwind. So
He's coming straight for us.
yeah,
though.
he is.
Nice and Sunday. This is our first ever wind coil delivery. Yeah.
That's cool.
Package delivered. Thanks, Vincente. Here he goes. The sail into Clarencetown was probably the most stressful sail I've ever had. We were sailing downwind, which we don't have a ton of experience with, so we were on a run. We had preventers, but there was a lot of accidental jiving, and it was pretty big seas, maybe 6-foot seas. We were with friends, but it just felt like a stressful sail.
So we just left Georgetown and we're on our way. We've got that kind of a long passage. We're only doing 70 today, but I just got off the phone with my pops, and all of a sudden Carol's like, we're going 10. We got a little bit of rain on the horizon, and the cool air is really cranking us. And so we just reefed the Genoa just a little bit. So we just got to make it around this little point.
Yeah, we were motor tooting because we just weren't going in that fast with the wind behind us, and then all of a sudden we hit 10 with this little squall, so we turned off the motor. Now we're going like 7, 6, 7, 4. I don't know, we're surfing.
The weather was honking probably 30 miles an hour straight out of the north, which was nice because that enabled us to practice a different type of sailing that we've never done before. And that was when you open up both sails and then you go with the wind. It's called a run. We were trying to go wing on a run, but we don't have a downwind pole or anything, so we just like kind of make things kind of interesting by jerry-rigging some stuff. And then the boat accidentally jibed and we were into a very interesting few minutes. And now I'm like, Simo, I've got the memory of a cockroach because now I want to do it again.
I don't. We weren't wing on wing when we drive because we saw the people in front of us came out of theirs and they're way more experienced. I have good pronunciation. want to go first? Yeah, a squall was hitting, and we saw people in front of us who are more experienced came out of their wing on wing into a broad reach, I think, unless they put down their jib. So we put our jib up. I was steering, accidentally jived, but then we had the preventer, so then the boom was just stuck over there. So then we were getting like pushed around by the wind, and the swell's pretty big, so it kind of felt scary. And then Bruce dropped the motors, and we were able to get out of it. But I don't want to go back onto a wing on wing.
Yeah, it's time. No, we're just gonna accidentally jive instead. Yeah, the seas are kind of picking up, but at least we're going with them, which is a pleasant surprise instead of just bashing into it. We made it to Clarencetown, and we just wanted to relax in preparation to dive the next day.
We're packing up for a beach fire with some friends. We're at Long Key, which TBH kind of sucks. But it might just be because it's so rolly. But or Long Island, wherever we are. I've had 151 rum. It's really strong.
Unfortunately, hit one of the fastest speeds we have ever gone on the boat, which is a lot of stress on the boat. And then you think about that for the next couple days. For instance, I think we ended up going 12 knots or 14 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, and that to us was stress that I carried on my chest for the next couple days. And until you move again, you kind of carry that with you because you don't know if the boat is really good. You can check all the rigging, but you still don't know until you move again. The fastest our boat can travel based on the length of the boat in the water is 8.3 knots. We had exceeded that almost by double, which is just not good stress you want to put on the boat.
Aborted beach fire because of bugs. So now we're gonna go to our friend's boat and cook up the fish there and hang out. It was way too buggy, but we gathered enough wood in case we get bug spray. Well, we didn't have a lighter, so maybe if we were prepared, so we might do it tomorrow. We'll see.
One small little problem.
That's small.
No way. It's Simo's birthday.
Cool. We're gonna go to Dean's Blue Hole. How far are you gonna dive?
20 feet.
That's not true. Bimo's gonna go for a record.
We both have belly aches and I don't want to blow an O-ring, but it's looking like I'm gonna.
Yeah, I really don't want to dive at all, but that's what we're going to do. We were celebrating a friend's birthday we had just met, and then it was my birthday actually the next day. So we had planned to have a low-key night on our friend's boat. We ended up drinking 151 proof rum on accident and drank more than we would have liked to before going to the Blue Hole. It's definitely not recommended or safe. There you go.
We're going diving with our friends.
Before I was all poopy faced because I didn't feel good about diving, but now I'm excited just to go.
I'm so sleepy.
Yeah. Still poopy faced, but excited to see the Blue Hole.
Yeah.
It's the second deepest in the world.
Yeah, I think it's the deepest saltwater one.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
freshwater one that's deeper.
In China. I think all blue holes are a mixture though, right?
Oh.
They're like a sinkhole and
Cool.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That was all I got from Wikipedia.
So we had a late night. I think we're paying the price right now and we're like tired, belly aches, not feeling so hot. And we're like, yeah, let's go try and dive deep. I don't know. We're not going to push it, but we also get a little bit competitive. So we might. Any free diver, amateur or professional, would highly recommend to not drink alcohol before free diving. However, it was Carol's birthday, we wanted to celebrate, and it was a spur of the moment kind of thing. We met up with new cruisers in the area, and we were more interested in having a good time the night before. We woke up not feeling like we wanted to dive, the guy who we had met the day before, his name is Craig, he had dove at Dean's Blue Hole the day before, and we'd made plans with him. If it were just up to us, we probably would have bailed. However, we decided that it was probably, even if we weren't going to dive deep, and we are competitive, it was probably best that we just go and check it out because it's such a famous site. Nothing but beach, a few people, you're surrounded by rocks, and then pristine blue water is a 600, 700 foot hole straight into the earth, and it's just pumping out water. I mean, you don't feel it up at the top. You've got the ocean surrounded, essentially, Dean's Blue Hole, and then in this little inlet and cut is Dean's Blue Hole. There's a platform in the center, and that platform has some lines and a long string into Dean's Blue Hole, and you can follow that string down to a predetermined depth.
We're at Dean's Blue Hole.
Happy birthday, baby. How deep is it?
What is it? 600? No, something.
Like 680.
680. Yeah. Whoa. Is that how far you're gonna go?
I hope not. You'll never see me again. Well, you'll know I'll be out at the bottom. Wow.
This is sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, you can jump off. Yes, several people have died at Dean's Blue Hole. There's a memorial there for 3 locals who passed away there, and then there's also been numerous freedivers who have died there. So there's definitely an eerie feeling when you're there, just knowing that there are people that have died there and they can't recover their bodies.
The most important piece of equipment I say are twofold. One is my fins, and they're carbon fiber. They help you get down, and they provide a good recoil for you to get back up to the surface. The other very important piece of equipment I think is my watch. It tells me how long I've been at the surface, how deep I've gone, and then a recovery window into my next dive. After I catch my breath, after a dive, I reset, get my mind right, and then dive again.
The first dive is not the deepest dive. You usually do a warm-up dive or a few warm-up dives to get used to the lung to free diving and holding your breath. It's important to have safeties in place when you're free diving. We were lucky to be with several friends who had more experience than we do. We're pretty new to free diving, so our friends had done free diving courses, so we did a safety briefing beforehand. And when someone descended, we had a safety diver in place that would go down with them slightly, and then also when they were coming back up would descend a little bit, just to make sure when they were coming up to the surface that they would make it.
really? One of the most dangerous things for a free diver is as you're ascending back to the surface, you're so close to the top of the water, but you still black out because you went just a little too deep or you exerted too much energy. It's generally within the last 30 feet, you'll black out, and hopefully you have a safety there to ascend you to the surface and keep your mouth and nose covered so you don't consume any water that will essentially kill you. Well, Dean's Blue Hole, that was awesome. Unfortunately, the adventure wasn't over just quite yet. We had to push the car home, and Simo burst a blood vessel in her eye from that last dive. It happened when she said that she had a lot of pressure in her mask. She forgot to blow out of her nose. Either way, a few new records were set, and everyone was safe.
We're ready, Barbie.
Okay, follow these knots. Those knots. Follow these knots. Figure it out, everybody.
Thank you.